real quick.
I'm doing good, man. How's everything with you?
It's going great, man. I can't complain, man. Life is good. Life is good. It's great to see you. It's
That's
great to have
awesome.
you on. Yeah, this is awesome, man.
Yeah,
Thank you
bro.
for coming on. Appreciate this.
For sure. For sure. Of course.
And man, I just want to say before we start off, the stuff that you be playing out is super, super helpful. Like I know your target population is like men, but
Mhm.
growing up, my family, not me, but my mom and dad, they were like, a little bit obese, and these are
Mhm.
things that I would tell them as well. I
Mhm.
never really got through to them though, but you
Mhm.
know, I've been studying your videos, studying how you deliver your content. I might pick up a thing or two and try to apply that to them to help them make some better changes. So I really
Nice,
appreciate the
man.
content that you do, man. Appreciate it a
Dude, I
lot.
appreciate it. Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
so
man,
much.
it's awesome. Of course,
Thank
man,
you.
of course. Yeah, man, this is awesome. But do you want to start with this interview real quick?
Yeah, dude, let's do it. Let's do
All
it.
right, all right. Well, everybody, this is Danny Cavallaro, super awesome dude, Instagram influencer. He's trying to target people who are working class men over 200 pounds, trying to help them lose weight. Is there anything else that you would like to tell to the audience? Describe yourself, what you like to do.
Yeah, so I'm Danny Cavallaro and 23 years old. I am a Springfield alumni, which is pretty cool.
Awesome.
And just like James said, I'm an online fitness coach. We specifically work with busy guys trying to lose weight, and that's what I do now. So I just graduated from Springfield last year. I actually moved to Florida just because like everything what I do is like online, it's remote. So that's where
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
kind of right now. And yeah, that's what I do.
Awesome, man. Awesome. How's it down there in Florida? Weather's
It's
nice.
nice. It's nice. We actually just it was on the news. We had a pretty bad flood. We had some bad
Okay.
rain. But it didn't affect like me that bad because I like wasn't driving or anything, but it was
Mhm.
pretty the damage was pretty bad. But other than that, man, like no complaints at all. The weather's good, sun is good. So
Mm.
yeah, I'm liking it.
Good, good. It's a gloomy day over here in Massachusetts, unfortunately, but we'll make do. We'll make do.
Yeah, make do, man, for sure.
Yes, sir. So, first question, Danny, what do you think are some common mistakes or misconceptions about this industry, aka online personal training?
Yeah, so one of them I would say is probably diet. And I don't want to say it's like a misconception, but it's something that there's like misinformation on a lot of.
Mm.
And there's just a lot, it depends on the client or the athlete's goal, right? But I think a lot
Mm.
of people just try to outwork a bad diet, and you really can't.
Yeah,
So I think that's something, and also just like misinformation. I'm kind of guilty of this as well. Like when I first started, like I just wasn't really like even myself consuming the right information because there's so
right,
much information out there. So like I was doing things like cutting carbs or cutting like a bunch of like sugar and stuff, even though we
hmm,
need some sort of like simple sugars, carbohydrates, all that
right,
stuff. So like just some misinformation I would say really like a little thing that's in the fitness journey that's hard
yeah,
to overcome, but that we're getting better at it, sifting through that information. That's kind of why I have like my page myself to be like just tell that truth,
right.
because I want to do all like the BS. But yeah, that's kind of like that's what I would say.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. Like when
Mhm.
growing up as well, I used to, or not even me, let's talk about my mom and dad, because they've
Yeah,
gone through a million diets, they've done paleo, they've
right.
done the Mediterranean, they've cut carbs, they went on
Yep.
keto, they do everything, right? All of which are just like, I feel like they're advertised as quick fixes to fixing somebody's weight problem, or like fat
Mhm.
problem. But in
Mhm.
reality, what it really takes is just setting your mindset right, which is something that you talk about a lot, getting your mindset right and just trying to
Exactly.
focus in on exactly what you need to do. So I completely
Exactly.
agree with that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that you do well. You really do just get that message across, you cut the crap, keep it real, and you say what you
Yeah.
need to say. And I respect that a lot, Danny. I respect that a lot.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
For sure, Danny. So tell me, why did you start this business? What was the reason why?
Yeah. So I actually started in college. So what year are you in college, bro?
I'm a senior right now. I've been in school for about
Okay.
5 years, took a break a
Okay.
little
Got
bit,
you.
back in.
Okay. Okay, nice. So I like I'm just wondering for context, but I started freshman year of college like just on a fitness page. I didn't like open an
Okay.
LLC, start a business or anything.
Mhm.
But like I had my fitness page. And I honestly started because dude, like in college there's a lot of time that you do have, right? Like
You're right.
like in between classes, with homework and stuff, obviously that takes up time, but there is a lot of like free time. And like, dude, you could play, video games or chill at like the U and like do nothing, or
Yeah.
you could like you yourself, you're making content, which is amazing, right? So that's where it
Thank you.
starts.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, bro, of course. So you just have to like make that decision. So for me, like I was really committed to growth and I still am. So I was like, well, I want to like monetize a skill that I have. And I
Mhm.
lost weight myself. I loved like fitness. So I was just like selling meal plans, like literally like from my phone on like the notes app. And then it got to like I had my own app now and stuff. So it was just like that progression. But I just started because I
Mhm.
realized I had so much time and I wanted to like monetize a skill that I had.
That's awesome, Danny. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm
Thanks,
just
bro.
curious, what's your major? What was your major back at school for college?
So my major was health sciences. That's what I graduate like I have that degree in is
Yeah.
health science. And I was actually going to go into PT for like Springfield, like their
Yeah, yeah,
postgraduate. Yeah. So
yeah.
I was taking all the classes, man. I was doing it. Then it came to the end of my junior year, heading into senior year, put in 3 years of work. And I'm like, I don't even want to do this. Like the business was really starting to pick up with momentum.
Yeah,
And I'm like, I just want to go with this full time. But yeah, that was the whole route. Was like I wanted to be a physical therapist, and I was like doing all the classes while trying to grow my business. It was challenging.
yeah,
But yeah, graduated with a bachelor's in health science. And yeah, that's where I'm at now.
for sure. I actually kind of have a similar story about that. Like, I used to want to be PT as well. Then I
Mm,
realized, okay, this might not be right for me. So I was
nice.
just like, let me
Yeah.
just focus in on either like clinical exercise
Yeah.
physiology, help people with disease, kind of similar to what you do actually, but
Yep.
more on like not gonna say like professional. What you do is not professional, but more like more clinical within like
Right. Right.
hospitals, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they're
Yep.
bringing in those patients a little bit different.
Yep. Nice.
But yeah, another question for you. So what are you currently doing to learn and develop your skills, like your marketing or sales or like operations, stuff like that?
Yeah. So that's a great question. Honestly, what changed the game for me was investing in business mentors. So I have
Okay.
mentors right now. They're actually based in Canada. And they are very helpful for like giving us the ins and outs of like operations, who we
Hmm.
should hire, like what roles we should delegate, what type
Right.
of service we should provide. So just like a fitness coach, like it's the same thing as having a business coach. I'm big
Hmm.
into business mentors. I go to like seminars and stuff. So that's how I
Right.
really sharpen my marketing tools, delivering operations, hiring team, all that stuff.
For sure. What are those seminars that you're going to? Would you mind sharing a little bit more detail about those?
Yeah, so with the seminars, that is so I have business mentors in Canada. So I'm part of a
Okay.
program. It's called PT Domination, like
PT
personal training
domination.
domination, it's called.
Yes, sir.
And the person I actually just sent you the other day, his name is like Brian Mark. That's like his
Yeah, Brian
company.
Mark.
Yep.
Yep.
And so him and then the other guy, Cole De Silva, like they started their own like fitness business, online fitness business, and just
Hmm.
like me. And they grew it up to a point where it's like, all right, we could actually start helping people grow their own business, right?
Right.
So they went through like all the fires and like all that stuff. So like kind of we don't have to. So they teach us exactly what to do. So
Hmm.
it's a group of literally like 3,000 personal trainers, and they give us the blueprint of like how you market, what you should be posting, all this.
Hmm.
And then I'm actually in the mastermind program, which is like only like 100 of us out of like the 3K. And
Hmm.
that's just like bringing your level to the, it's like once you hit a certain level, that's where you start hiring people. So that's why I
Yeah.
wanted to do that one. And so, yeah, I've been like hiring people and stuff and just trying to level up. So,
Yeah.
that's really what helps sharpen my tools. Yeah.
For sure. Just like as you were talking about that, I just had a thought came to my mind. Do you think that is like the ultimate goal is that where you want to be going from, coaching other people to now, okay, now I'm coaching the coaches to coach
Right.
other people. Is that your ultimate goal?
That's a great question, man. Honestly, like consulting like that definitely does like ring a bell for me because I really like working with entrepreneurs just because like we have
Okay.
the same mindset.
Right.
But I wouldn't like I'm so loyal to these mentors right here that I wouldn't even
Mhm.
want to be their competition. You know what I mean?
Right. That's
But
awesome.
what I've seen a lot of people do is like they'll branch out. So like let's say I get really, really good at content. I've seen people in the
Mhm.
program like branch out and like start helping let's just say for example like six-figure businesses like really develop their content so they could attract clients online. That's just like a bio you might see
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's something something that kind of is like appealing to me. But
Mhm.
like for right now, like if I go down that direction, I want to go kind of like all in. So I don't know exactly
Yeah.
what that is just yet. And I love what I do right now.
Right.
So I like, you put in like the interview, what are your goals in like 12 months? Like, dude,
Yeah.
honestly, I'm playing it all by year. I love what I do now, but like the way our world is, like something could change like instantly. And as
For
long as
sure.
you have a phone, dude, you could create content, you could do anything. That's my opinion. So yeah,
For
man, that's
sure.
a great question for sure.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I was just curious, we do guys stay adaptable. We
Yeah,
can't put ourselves in a box. I think
definitely.
it's always best to keep our options open. Um,
Exactly.
for sure. But next question. So who is your ideal clientele? Like, do you initially, when you initially came up, did you like prefer working with people who are like hardworking, diligent, consistent, or did you just take in everybody, whether they were lazy, undetermined, or if they had like a poor attitude?
That's a great question. Honestly, in the beginning, I was just like trying to get anyone because like any new business was business for me, right? So like,
For
but
sure.
now it came to a point where it's like I don't want to be like expending my energy on someone that's just not going to give it
Right.
back to me. So I do
Right.
want those like dedicated. I really focus on like men, and I do have like a good amount of women in the program, about 10 to 15 ladies, but I try to
Mhm.
focus on men just because it makes marketing very easy for me.
Right.
And also when like you're an online fitness coach, you don't want to be like a generalist. It's better to be a specialist because
Right.
if I go out there on the internet and I'm like, I am whoever wants to lose weight, send me a message, let's sign up for my program, like no one's going to respond. But if I'm like,
Right.
hey, I'm actually looking for 3 busy guys that are working 12 to 16 hours per day that want to lose 30 pounds, send me a message. It's going to get a
Right.
lot more traction because I'm actually talking to a specific person. So
Mhm.
I work with busy guys just trying to lose weight because that's what I found. Like I really I enjoy working with like that male that's like I do like working with people in college and stuff,
Yeah.
it's all good, but like my ideal client is like a 45-year-old dad that tried every old diet in the book and now like he wants like sustainable changes. And
Mhm.
that's just like my ideal client. I love working with them. There's like minimal complaints. They're
Right.
financially qualified and
Yeah.
they get shit done, man. If I'm just gonna be
For
honest,
sure.
that's what I love, dude.
Yeah.
That's what I love.
For sure.
Yeah.
Just another question going off of that. So you're
Yeah.
talking about, zoning in on a niche or zoning in on one like certain characteristic about a person, right? So when it comes down to marketing, do you ever feel like you're running out of ideas because you're marketing the same thing over and over again? Or do you find
Mm.
yourself having to recycle content? Or how do you find and come up with new content so it seems still fresh to the people who've been following you for a while?
Dude, that's a great question, honestly. It is completely okay to recycle. I really don't think that I have problems creating content because we can talk, let's say like binge eating. Like we could come up
Right.
with 10 different headlines for binge eating like right
Yep.
now, right? So it's about taking one topic and then making 10 different pieces of content about that one topic. And that's how you're never going to run out of content. And dude,
Mhm.
like I'm always recycling content because with us, like our team is adding new people every single day. So the
Right.
same people that saw that post like a month ago, they didn't see it if I added them today. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
repost that post if it hit, so they could actually see it, and it's gonna be a reminder for those like older leads, like
Yeah.
oh, he put out this value. They might not even remember either. You know what I mean? They
Right.
usually
Yeah.
won't. So and if it comes to a point where like someone has been watching you for a year, 2 years, 3 years, like maybe they're just not a serious buyer. And at that point, you're not really putting content out for them. You want to be putting content for like the new people coming into your
Yeah.
ecosystem, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's a great perspective. I didn't even think about that last part. So you definitely got my gears,
For
working
sure,
up there.
bro.
So I appreciate that, new way to
Yeah, of
think, a new
course.
perspective. Yeah,
Of
I'll
course,
definitely go
man.
back and think about that.
Awesome.
That's
Love it.
awesome. Thank you, Danny. Appreciate that. And so just leading into the next question. So, I could tell that you're super educated in nutrition and strength and conditioning, which is what I do. We really try to focus in on, okay, the athletes need to eat, sleep, hydrate. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty and the details of that, it's really hard to
Right.
communicate that in a language where they can actually like absorb it and they understand it. We're not like overwhelming the athlete. Because I'm sure, as you know, when it comes to nutrition, it can be just cookie cutter, but at the same time, individuals have to get in their own macros specifically catered to that individual. So how
Mhm.
would you go about explaining that to athletes in a fun and engaging way that's not going to make them think, oh, I hate having to eat, I hate having to sleep, I hate having to hydrate.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a great question. With when it comes to that, I just really want to focus on one rule to make it simple for everybody that's watching, and it's called the
Sure.
80-20 rule. And you probably
Yeah.
heard of me say this
Yeah. I
before.
heard you talk about that before.
Yeah, and like with busy guys or athletes as well, it's just very simple,
Hmm.
especially like if you want to enjoy your life and like,
Right.
still be human, be social at the end of the day. It's
Yeah.
and what that 80-20 rule is 80% whole foods throughout your week
Yep.
and 20% processed foods. So whole foods are going to be like your lean meats, and it's going to be like your whole grains, your
Yeah.
fruits, your vegetables, stuff like that. And then your 20% is honestly going to be anything you want, right? So if you
Yeah.
enjoy like chocolate, pizza, burgers, whatever it is, I still want you to have it, but like
Yeah.
only like 20% of the time, right? So that rule right there will help fuel athletes for sure, because if athletes
Hmm.
are having 80% whole foods, that's just going to help them out so much better with their performance. And
For
like
sure.
for me, I don't understand when I see college athletes or even like NFL players and they're like eating McDonald's. I'm like, they don't even
Right.
know what they're doing.
Yeah. A lot of the
And
time they don't know.
exactly. They don't even know. So it's like, all right, you can have some of that stuff. Just make it 20% of your week and then 80% whole foods, the other half, like
Mhm.
the rest of your week, the 80% of your week, and that's gonna help them out a lot.
For sure. I'll be sure to try to apply that to my athletes, try to make it nice and concise with
Yeah,
the 80-20 rule. That's
for
awesome. Thank you,
sure.
Danny. Appreciate that.
For sure.
Next question. So, based on your podcast, I constantly see you talk and like talk about having more energy and, approaching like the weight loss journey. Sorry, with like the right mindset. So
Mhm.
consistency over perfection, stuff like that. So, you often talk about not only the weight loss, but also the mindset as well. So what's your idea, like your ideal form of transformation? Like how would you define that for yourself? Like is it only physical changes or mental changes that we're looking for as well?
Yeah, it's definitely mental, James, for sure. Because you could look good, but it
Do you
doesn't
feel
matter.
good?
Yeah, it doesn't
Right.
exactly. Like once you really look good, like you're gonna start feeling better as well. You'll have more energy, more self-confidence.
Hmm.
But there are some people that, maybe they look good, but they don't mentally feel okay. And that's just like
Right.
where we need to like make those changes. That's why I kind of go into mindset, just like you said.
Right.
Because I want, clients looking good for sure and having like that confidence and like feeling fit, like living a long life for their
Yeah.
family. They
Yeah.
don't have to worry about cholesterol, any of that, but also
Mm.
like mentally like working on their mindset, because I've had clients lose 20, 30 pounds, but they're still kind of like, they self-sabotage sometimes, they feel like
Yeah.
a little bit lonely sometimes. So those are the things we really have to fix as well. But just like you
Mm.
said, it definitely comes down to consistency over perfection, because like perfection in your fitness journey is like non-existent. It's
Yeah.
just not
For
really
sure.
going to happen. So even like the 80-20 rule, that's a great rule that preaches consistency over perfection,
Exactly.
right?
For
There's a
sure.
reason why it's not 100% whole foods 20 or 0% processed,
Yeah.
right? It's 80-20 because you kind of need that balance. So definitely as long as you stay consistent, you're going to be good.
For sure. Appreciate
Yeah.
that, Danny. Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Of course, James.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So just between you and I, like what is what is something that you desire most in this world? Like a dream come true scenario for you.
Yeah, dude, I love that question. When I saw that, it made me really think. I mean,
Right.
I think just like you said, man, in 6 to 12 months, I could be doing something different, right?
Right.
So, in order to like, I've tried to project my life in like so many times, like, oh, in 5 years I'm going to be a physical therapist, this and that, and it never went that way, right?
Right.
So I can say do this and that, but at the end of the day, man, what I really want to do is just like leave a massive impact in this world and just leave a
Hmm.
legacy, because at the end of
For
the day,
sure.
like, I'm not going to be here. You're not going to be
Mhm.
here. Like, we're going to be gone. And people are just going to talk about the things that we did, how we made them feel. So,
For
like,
sure.
I want to be gone one day and people are looking back at my Instagram videos, like, oh, that guy was, speaking facts. And I just
Yeah.
like that, like, I just feel
Yeah.
like legacy is a big thing, because, we're only
100%.
here for a temporary period of time. So,
For
yeah,
sure.
that's,
No, I agree with
that's
that.
what I want to do.
100%.
Yeah.
For
Yeah,
sure. I feel like that's a great goal for anybody to have, like
for
even for
sure.
me, I think ultimately my biggest goal is just to leave a legacy. I
Ex-
eventually want to have my own impact on the field, maybe
Yes.
switch up, make some noise, rattle the cage a little bit. But at the same
Yeah.
time, I want to be known for what I've done, you know what I mean? I don't want to just be forgotten. I want to teach others and then they carry on that message. And so hopefully I can make something that lasts for a long, long time. So
For sure, dude.
that's
I
for
believe in
me.
you. Yeah, I
Thank you,
believe in
Danny. Appreciate it. You as well, man. I know you got it. I know you got the juice.
you. Thank you, bro. Thank
For
you.
sure. So trying to like flip the script a little bit. So
Yeah.
we just talked about your dream come true. What are some of the things that frustrate you? The top three things that frustrate you that keep you up at night, hair on fire problems.
Yeah. So honestly, I feel like hair on fire problem, it comes down to a mindset, bro. Like
Right.
unless we're literally like dying, there should not be a hair on fire problem, whether you own a business or whether it's with your health, wealth, relationships, because
Awesome.
we can't control how we like what happens to us sometimes, whether it's like in life or business, whatever, but we can
Right.
control our reaction. But I will say like some things that bother me, like quote unquote bother me, are
Mhm.
maybe just like one thing is probably like clients not complying, right? So if I have a
Right.
client that is paying for a program, but they're not like answering, because it is all online, right? I'm not in their
Right.
face. But I really do very good with like keeping up with my clients. Like I will literally hunt you down if you're not answering,
Hmm.
right? But some clients, they're just going through some things mentally, something's happening with work, etc.
Hmm.
And like something that kind of keeps me up sometimes, I'm trying to work on it, right? It's just like clients not complying, or that's like the bigger one. Or maybe like I know a
Hmm.
client hasn't signed up yet, but I really know they need the help, right? They're like 250 to 300 pounds, they need it,
Right.
but they're going through some like motivation, mental struggles, some limiting beliefs. And
For
I
sure.
wish I could have control over that, but like there's only so many things I could do, right? So
Hmm.
just trying to really control, like controlling your emotions is massive, not
Right.
just in life, but business as well.
Right.
Those are some things that I wouldn't say like set my hair on fire, but they bother me sometimes.
For sure. No, I definitely get that. Coming up, I've been training a lot of people as well, none of which have committed. And that's like the
Right.
frustrating part. Like you put all this
Mhm.
work in on the front end for them to be able to do it on the back end, and then they kind of just go ghost on you. They may not,
Mhm.
fully commit when you're giving them everything that you got. So I
Mhm.
definitely understand that as well. And then the
Mhm.
same thing, the problem where it's like, dang, I see athletes over there who are just doing completely wrong things. Like I saw a video of I'm not going to even name the university, I'm not sure, right?
Mhm.
But they're doing hang cleans and it's completely terrible. They're going to injure themselves. They're loading up heavy weight, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, bro, they need help. And so it's
Yeah.
just like, man. So what do you
Yeah.
guys do, or what do you do to try to
Yeah.
like solve that roadblock? Like trying to get people to actually be communicative with you, not like, kind of ghost you like that. And what do you do to try to like solve that second problem as well?
Yeah, it's a great question, James. So with that, I mean, really having like a one-on-one call definitely helps. So if really someone's struggling, I'll have like a one-on-one phone call with them. And then on that
Hmm.
call, we'll try to go through some like mental tactics. And usually I always have them like focus on their vision, right? And I'm always
Right.
thinking like, let's say you came into the program, you're struggling. I'll be like, James, I know you're going through some stuff right now, but think about why you signed up for this program, right? You want to have more energy for your job, your kids,
Hmm.
XYZ, whatever their situation is. I'm always keeping them aligned with their goals because that's what they
Hmm.
told me, right? It's not even
Right.
something like I want that for them 100%, but that's something they told me specifically.
Right.
So I'm always going to put in their ear, like, hey, you're struggling with motivation today, but you did tell me you want to lose 30 pounds and get rid of
Right.
like, you want to lower your cholesterol, right? So I'm
Hmm.
always keeping them focused on that. And then it comes to tactics. Like I work with guys that are working 12 to 16 hours a day. So like really making sure that they have a set in stone program that they could plan for each day is really important.
For sure. Just out of
Yeah.
curiosity, you don't have to go too deep into it, but 12, 16-hour days, let's say if they're sleeping 6 to 8 hours, that does not leave them with much time. So what are some of the strategies that you like to implement in order to, give that flexibility and give that structure to these people who need that help?
That's a great question. So we have to meet you with where you're at. So if you're working 12 to 16 hours, we're just going to give you probably 2 to 3 home workouts per week,
Hmm.
like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or just like Tuesday, Thursday. And it's
Hmm.
literally going to take up like, even if you're working 12 to 16 hours, it's going to take up 0.0001% of your week. Because I think
Hmm.
a week has 100 like 68 hours, 100 like 64, something
I
like
think so,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, something around that. And I'm only asking for 45 minutes. I'm literally
Right.
asking for 15 minutes on Monday, 15 minutes on Wednesday, 15. That's literally it. 15 minutes on Friday. So if they can't
Hmm.
commit to that, dude, like that, they're like
They're
100% they're spending
good.
more time on Facebook, they're watching
Right.
Netflix. Like people just don't work and come home. They do stuff and a lot of them just waste time. They like sit
No,
on their
100%.
phone, they're watching. Yeah,
Yeah.
so they can dedicate time to a workout. And if you're really, really strapped for time, like I work with like CEOs, like it comes to a certain point in the year. For example, I work with like a ski director. And so when it
Right.
was like January, December, like, everyone's going skiing on winter break, we had to just come up with like a step goal for him and then just like work on his calories and like his calorie
Right.
intake. He was sending me pictures of his meals. But we do give custom calorie and macronutrient goals to each client.
Mhm.
But he didn't have like the opportunity to track. So with him, you're no matter how long you're working, you're gonna be eating something, right? So we just made
Right.
sure the quality of food was pretty good. But yeah, I hope that all made sense.
No, yeah, for sure, Danny. Appreciate that. One more
Yeah.
thing, kind of like building off of that. So, one of the things that I loved is like, you don't label food as good or bad. You just label it as, is this food going to help me or is this
Yeah.
food going to hurt me? And
Yep.
like that's something that I always try to preach to the choir, preach to my mom, preach to my dad. You know,
Yeah.
they don't, sometimes it feels like they don't understand that message. So how would you, maybe switch that up and make it so that they can like understand it in a different way?
So do they understand it? They're just not doing it, or they really don't get the message?
I think that they understand it, but they don't fully respect that idea.
Okay. So when it comes to that, I would ask them like, what have you tried before and how is that working for you? Right? Because
Mhm.
a lot of people before, like they tried really restrictive stuff, they're either all in or all out.
Right,
And that's why a lot of people are overweight, they're obese because they have this bland taste of health and fitness and what it really
right,
is. But if you just like when the time is right and you're out, maybe birthday party, literally like whatever, like you can enjoy yourself but also ask like, is this going to help me or is this going to hurt me? So if
mhm,
it's like Tuesday and you have like three more work meetings to attend to, like do you
mhm,
want the McDonald's? Do you want the cake? Do you want the pizza? Like is that going to fuel you for the rest of the day? Or is having like the whole grains with the fruits, vegetables, chicken, whatever it
right,
is that going to fuel you better? Just asking that question I think is important
right,
because I think a lot of people understand like what it means, but they're just not like taking action on it and they're not doing it.
right.
But I hope that kind of cleared it up a little bit.
Yeah, no, I remember you talking about that a little bit in one of your videos as well. Another
Yeah.
question, just kind of building off of that, right? So, especially as trainers, as coaches, one of the things
Hmm.
that we do is we try to provoke change of behaviors or like habits within these people that we're taking on into our lives, right? Sometimes though, the change is like for them, the client, it's a little bit intimidating, right? So they might not be fully bought in. How do we bridge that gap so that, we can get them on board?
That's a great question. So basically, you're asking them how to like stay more consistent, like and bridge that gap for them. So that
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it comes down to consequences and vision. So, like what I try to do is like I'll remind them the consequences of not taking action. So, if you're in the
For sure.
program, you're not taking action, I'll be like, "Well, James, I mean, sure, you can miss your workouts and you don't need to eat your food, but like do you want to head into this summer still being 50 pounds overweight? You still don't like what you see in the mirror?" And like I'm actually like painting their consequences because that's what they need to hear, right? That's what they need to
Exactly.
hear.
Yeah.
And then I'll like kind of flip the script. I'll be like, I know that you could get your workouts in, you could stay committed to your goals because I want to make sure you're 50 pounds down, you're feeling good,
Mhm.
you have more energy, and you actually have like a better self-esteem. So I get them clear on their consequences and the vision that they want to go towards.
For sure. That's awesome. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
definitely. I might have to implement that as well for my
for
family as well.
sure. For
That's
sure.
sick. No, I appreciate that, Danny. So let's try to start wrapping this up. I just want to
Mhm.
give you a chance to give a final message to the audience who's watching. So, what are some things that you would like to tell to your future clients, your patients, or people who want to know more about your business? What is your message to them?
So yeah, that's a great question. I mean, my message would be to my future clients, patients, whatever it is. I think just the first step is the hardest part, and that's the part that you need to take. And that's the step that you need to take because a lot of you want that change, but you're not willing to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation. But
Mhm.
making that change, living a healthy lifestyle, like that's going to you need to be stepping into that zone of uncertainty, of uncomfortability, like trying
Mhm.
that new thing. So that's what I would say. And then if you do that and stay consistent with it, your life literally will change. That's really it. Just make that first step, make the change and stay consistent and you'll be good.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Danny. I hope you had a great time with this interview and everything like that. If you guys want to check out Danny Cavallaro, he has a great Instagram page full of great content at DannyCavs4. Feel free to check him out. If you have anything else to say, Danny, feel free.
No, I'm good, man. James, thanks a lot for bringing me on here. I really do appreciate it. I love what you're
Thank you.
doing. The content's awesome. Yeah, definitely keep it up, man. I love, especially Springfield alum. I love seeing it.
Yeah,
And we'll keep crushing it, man. I really do wish the
for
best for
sure.
you.
For sure. Hopefully, we can get up and do one of these again. That was awesome.
Yes, definitely, for sure.
All right, Danny, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you very much, Danny.
All
Really,
right.
really appreciate it.
All right. Hey, James, thanks so much, man. Keep grinding. I'll keep up with your posts and everything.
For sure.
And yeah, we'll
Same
chat
here.
soon. Thanks a lot.
For sure, Danny. Thank you very much.